The views and opinions expressed on InTouch are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the official party or position of Backyard Broadcasting. Any content provided by our guests are of their opinion, and they are not intended to malign a religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Good morning and welcome to InTouch, a Sunday morning public affairs program dedicated to the health and welfare of the Susquehanna Valley residents. I'm your host, Joie Michaels. Join us at this time as we interview the difference makers in our community who want to help make the Susquehanna Valley a better place. This morning, we're talking with the 9/11 Ride Coalition. Three of their members, Todd Winder, Reverend Gary Smith, and President Tank Baird, visit with me to talk about the 20th anniversary 9/11 Ride and Memorial Service. Let's turn to our interview with Todd, Reverend Gary, and Tank on InTouch, a locally produced service of Backyard Broadcasting.
Good morning. I'm Todd Winder, Chief of the Clinton Township Fire Department, and also a member of the 9/11 Memorial Coalition that puts on the annual Memorial Motorcycle Ride on every September 11th. We hope to see lots of you come out. We like to see lots of people along the streets waving flags and supporting the ride and supporting the mission to never forget what happened on those that terrible morning in September 11th of 2001.
And in light of what's happened in Afghanistan and the unfortunate death of 13 of American heroes, we will be having the normal memorial service, but in addition, we will be honoring those 13 as well, and they're remembering their families. And as the member of the coalition, Reverend Gary Smith, I'm also chaplain with the Blue Knights Law Enforcement, and I would ask each and every one of you to remember these families in your prayers. That it's so unfortunate that in the last closing moments of this debacle in Afghanistan that they perished. And the memorial service will be at 2, kickstands up at 3, and looking forward to a safe, enjoyable, honorable ride, remembering those that gave their life on 9/11. First responders of all kinds, whether it's fire, police, medical, whatever, the people that gave the ultimate sacrifice for you and I. So we will never forget.
Tank Baird, the president of the 9/11 Memorial Coalition. We are looking forward to this event, especially this year. We were knocked out of the running last year. Two things: the pandemic, and that was a real decision. I think that we may have run the ride despite the fact that PennDOT was really put a roadblock in our way for the first time last year. But that problem's behind us now, and we're ready to go. We urge and we've been talking about this for a long time now. This is Lycoming County's 9/11 Memorial. And we're basically the guys that and girls that set the table for the event. I've always considered this a community service, but seeing how important this is to Lycoming County, there's a lot of effort here between Station 12 and the coalition. There's a lot of hours spent in organizing this and permitting this, and believe it, we hats off to Representative Joe Ham for everything he has done and his office has done to put us in a position that we could permit. Prior to this, if Joe had not taken action, this would be the same this year. PennDOT wasn't throttling back on the thing. There were some things that we just could not do last year, and it would have haunted us this year. But it put us in a position to permit, and that has been accomplished. We are permitted. That allows us traffic control and all that. So we are legal and ready to go, and we're anxious. And, I just didn't realize how much I actually missed the event until we didn't have it last year. And I'm sure that everybody out there is feeling the same way. And I think we have a special ingredient here this year with what has happened in Afghanistan. And I know that that crowds, people of like mind, can be therapeutic. And I'm looking forward to being there. You know, we try to stay unpolitical, non-political. It's going to be a little tough to do that this year, but I think most of the crowd is going to feel exactly like we feel now over this incident. It is a stain on the United States, and but still, there are things that we need to accomplish at the ride, and it goes along with our documentary, which will be on PBS again this year. We're going to remember, we're going to honor, and then we're going to ride. And so it's the whole purpose of this was always to memorialize those that lost their life on 9/11. And it's going to be the same this year. But there's going to be a lot of talk, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness at the ride. And again, I think that's going to be therapeutic.
Yeah, thanks, Tank. Another thing that I'd like to shout out to all the local law enforcement, the first responders, fire, police, etc., that block the roads for each one of us, that we can travel safely. For the Lycoming County commissioners that were instrumental in making a lot of this happen as well. So there's many, many, many people to thank. But the focus, like Tank said, this is the 20th anniversary. And there are people going to be attending this ride that were not born when that event took place. And their only frame of reference is a news clip of showing the towers coming down. And our goal is, and our motto is, we will never forget. And we want to bring this before the remembrance of, from the youngest to the oldest, of why we do this, to honor those that willingly sacrifice their life for our protection, whether it's a fireman running into the burning building, a policeman trying to rescue someone, whatever the case. These individuals and veterans, like those 13 young Americans that were slain, willingly gave of their life to protect you and me. So we want to make sure that we remember them and all of their loved ones.
If you remember back 2001, the day that it happened, for the next, several days, weeks, we were all together. We were Americans. And that's what this ride symbolizes. When we go past the people along the route that are cheering the bikes, waving the flags, and that sort of thing, it's as Tank's word, it's therapeutic, to see that. And all the people that mill around at the fire station before the event takes place, the hands in the air when they're saying the prayers for the memorial service, and seeing these 80-something Korean War vets snap to attention and do a 21-gun salute and then play taps. That's what this is about. So, and I kind of sound like I'm rambling. I probably am, but we just want you to take for that short hour or two, hour and a half that the ride's going past your area to just try to remember what it was like in 2001 when we were just all Americans. And that's what we do this for every year. Like Gary says, we promise we won't forget, and we haven't. Last year was a real kick in the tail for us, and a lot of people called us cowards out of road anyway. It's a protest ride, all that crap, and good for you. Thank God, freedom of expression. However, we have a phenomenal history of this ride being put on without serious incidents. We have riders that go down and some problems, but we have a phenomenal success story of having thousands. Not like was in the paper the other day. I read an article where someone thought they had the largest 9/11 ride that they've ever had, and they had 400 bikes lined up. And I'm thinking to myself, crap, we have that many in the left side of our parking lot. But we put thousands of motorcycles over 42 miles in Lycoming County and 14 municipalities of people that come from all over. We know people that drive in to be with families, they tailgate, they picnic, their yards are full of flags, and they watch us go by. It has the same effect on the bikes going by your location as probably all the bikes have on you and your family members or your friends that are in your front yards watching us go by. So it's symbiotic. I'm very proud of my department for being part of this, and we're only part of this because of my big mouth 10 years ago when they were trying to figure out how to move the place or find another way to start out. They were afraid they didn't have enough room to park bikes at Bowman Field. So that's how we got started in it. And I'm glad we have. We'll never look back. So we encourage people that if you want to come to the memorial event and see the service, even if you're not on a bike, there'll be parking up at you can park at the high school, you can park out at the football field, and you can park somewhat close to the station and get there to watch the event. There's vendors there, there's food there, there's motorcycle vendors, that sort of thing. And then afterwards there's a band. So just because the bikes all leave out, and then when they come back, a lot of people might think, well, okay, it's over. It's not. It's as Gary and Tank have said, it's the fellowship and like-mindedness that people come back, and that's all you hear in the parking lot of, did you see this place, or did you see the flags at this place? And everyone's talking about it, and it just brings you back to when it was after September 11th, 2001, when the country was united. And I don't think we could be much more divided now. So I'm hoping that we can put on this ride, God willing, that Father Manor looks down on us, gives us some good weather for the day again, and we don't have any incidents, and we can put this ride on and maybe give everybody a little bit of relief of what's been going on the past however many years.
And also, as a reminder, the gates will actually open at 10 a.m., that riders will start coming in and being set in place. And once again, there is no charge for this ride. We have never, ever charged. We don't want to ever have to go to someone that would like to ride and can't afford it. So it is free, but we sincerely request donations. Not having a ride last year, we pay, and it costs us in the excess of $10,000 a year to put this ride on. And we don't have any corporate sponsors, etc. So it's each and every rider, if you can remember this, to help us so we can look forward to next year's ride. So it's the sales of T-shirts and memorabilia. And along that line, we actually have a vendor coming all the way from Florida that will have all types of flags available for your bikes, etc. So come out and support us, and we thank each and every one of you for your participation.
If you're going to come to the ride, to be in the ride, if you're coming as a group, just understand that the members of the fire department are parking the motorcycles, and space is very limited. So we try to get you as close as we can. So please don't be that guy that shows up and wants to save a spot for 10 of his buddies, because it can't happen. So we tell people, if you want to ride in the group together, show up together. And we put the people that come in first, we try to get them out on the route first. And one thing that I like to always say, and I'll say it again, is that it really doesn't matter where you are in this ride. What matters is that you're in this ride. So, I mean, I know people don't like to be in the back. Some people only want to be in the front. They don't want to be next to whatever motorcycle, but, get over it. Just get in there, get parked, and, remember why you're there. This isn't a ride to be popping wheelies or stopping and doing donuts and all that sort of stuff. I was involved in one a couple weeks ago that was that, and I literally left it. So this is a memorial procession. That's why we keep the speed low. We try to keep everybody together. As we said before, there's thousands. And as Gary alluded to, the cost of this, a lot of people don't know that we carry insurance every year on this for this ride, and our insurance carrier dropped us because they started looking at social media pictures and said, we always tell them, maybe 1,000 bikes. And they looked at the social media pictures and basically said, horse crap, there's a lot more than 1,000 bikes there. you guys are too big. We don't want to cover you anymore. So we had to scramble and find another carrier. And a lot of people don't understand that. We had to find a carrier to put our documentary on PBS. They wanted certain insurances. PBS wanted it from us. So, I mean, I was literally on the phone visiting my daughter in Atlanta, trying to find us a certain type of insurance from a carrier because we were up against a deadline or PBS wasn't going to be able to show the documentary. And, you know, that costs us money too. But like Gary said, people don't realize. They think that if you think you can throw together a 9/11 ride or any type of ride on this caliber, more power to you, because there's no book out there that says 9/11 ride for dummies. This has been something that has grown from, 50, 70 motorcycles the first time, pumping their fists and all pissed off because it was a couple days after a true protest ride to, organization and traffic control and a memorial service that we remember these people, we honor these people, and then, we put on this ride that is the effect. And I'll never forget, we had some people, and I don't know if it's in the documentary or not, but I know we saw some video, and it might have been an excerpt that didn't make the documentary, but there was some people in Montoursville that lived several blocks off the route, and they had said to one of the producers that, we know when to grab our lawn chairs and head down to Broad Street when we hear the motorcycles come through the cut, meaning up at the lookout on 15. And to me, that just floored me, because I'm thinking, if they can hear that rumble of us all together and coming around that corner, blocks away, and it was an older couple, and they know that gives them enough time to get down to Broad Street and watch it. Just understand why this ride is. There are rides out there that you want to go like hell and, stunt and show off and whatnot. Have at it, but please don't do it at this ride. This is basically a step above a funeral procession, and that's what we like to keep it as. We like to keep it safe. The fire police, the police officers, all the volunteers that are directing traffic for us, they're doing this to keep us safe and to keep PennDOT, as you've seen, from just putting a halt to this ride. And I guarantee you there's some bureaucrats at PennDOT that just want this ride to stop. They want it to go. They've shown their colors, they've proven that. And thank God for some legislators like Joe Ham that had the guts to say enough, and get this thing so we could do it. So please, please, please come out. The more the merrier. Unless you just bought your bike last week, then maybe think about next year, because there's a lot to see. And if I'm a rider and my wife is constantly saying, look at that, and I can't, because I'm watching the couple of clowns in front of me, which is Tank and Gary usually. So, and I don't want to hit them because I'll never hear the end of it. But please, please, please come out and participate in this. If you've never done it, I guarantee you, I guarantee it'll change your life. So come out and support us, and please never forget September 11th. As a
parting shot here, I just wanted to our documentaries on WVIA PBS, Thursday, September 9th at 8 o'clock p.m., Friday, September 10th at 8:30 p.m., and then they're going to show it on September 11th at noon. And I can almost guarantee that will be shown at the firehouse while we're all gathering. But and 9/11memorialcoalition.org. You can go there for the ride map. I believe, do we have the new insurance registration up on that? I believe we do. You can look for that. But that's also our shop. I urge all of you, if you want to support this ride, we have T-shirts, hats, that sort of thing. And it sounds commercial, and it is. But in light of needing the dollars that we need to get this accomplished, then, so be it.
If there's any corporate sponsors out there listening, we'd like to talk to you. God bless each and every one. Thanks.
Big thanks to Todd, Reverend Gary, and President Baird. The ride is coming up Saturday, September 11th. Gates open at 10 a.m. Memorial services at 2 p.m. The 42-mile ride starts at 3 at the Clinton Township Fire Hall in Montgomery. More details to get the forms you need and so much more. You'll find everything you need at 911memorialcoalition.com. Thanks for listening to InTouch, a locally produced service of Backyard Broadcasting. The views and opinions expressed on InTouch are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the official party or position of Backyard Broadcasting. Any content provided by our guests are of their opinion, and they are not intended to malign a religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.